Here we go.
Okay, let's hit, got it. Okay. Thanks for the introduction, Lynn, and thank you everybody for being here on Monday, which is Monday evening. So thanks for spending your time with me. And so I can't really see who's here, and I don't know if I know most of you or not, but if not, hello. And for those who've been to my other classes before, thank you and hello again. Very short introduction about me. Lynn said, I wear so many hats. It's because I have so many interests, and I am by education an interior designer, and I've done that before I had kids. And then when I had kids, I had to stop working, and then I pick up some clients here and there. And then 2017, was it, or 2016, after having my third child, all of a sudden, everything just went down in terms of health. It was just not good for me. And a lot of you who've been to my other classes before know my story, so I'll keep it short. But anyway, I was diagnosed with a bunch of autoimmune disorders, one of them being Hashimoto's, which is the inflammation of a thyroid gland, which a lot of women really these days suffer from. And that's how I went into this rabbit hole of wellness, which is what I'm very passionate about right now. And that's how I ended up in this field right now, basically just sharing what I have learned. I didn't want to take any medication. I wanted to do my healing as naturally as I can. And I really, really leaned on food to be my medicine. So I was very lucky that I was so gung-ho in just like doing all the research and all that stuff, just to have myself feel a lot better. I probably lost, I don't know, between 30 to 40 pounds in the last couple years, beginning 2017. That's how I ended up with a paleo lifestyle. And pretty much every time I do cooking classes, all my dishes are paleo because that's how I primarily eat, and the rest of my family are sort of paleo. But it's the basis now of our food. And when I mentioned about me losing the weight, it's really a lot of the inflammation going down. And it's just like doing these food swaps, food groups that I can't have anymore, which I didn't realize was actually causing the inflammation in my body. And then replacing it with, more of the other food groups and having that occupy bigger real estate in my plate. So where, for example, like whereas before, as a typical Asian person, my rice would be a big chunk on my plate, and then my meats, and then very little veggies. It has come a long way now. I might be the only Asian that you meet that can't eat rice. Unfortunately, through this journey, I realized grains don't really do well with me. It causes me to bloat. It causes inflammation in me. So I would have it from time to time, but it's something that I can't have on a regular basis like I used to. One category too are legumes, and that's why this chili doesn't have beans. But I promise you, once you try these two recipes of the chili that I had shared with Lynn, you probably won't miss the beans. I certainly don't, because I certainly don't like the unpleasant things that happen when I do eat beans. Again, it causes me to bloat. It's just like, it causes my digestion to not be as good. So I just stay away from it and replace it with other things. So that, I guess, in a nutshell, is why I eat this way. Some people say, okay, you can't have grains, you can't have dairy, you can't have gluten, you can't have legumes, so what can you eat? And my answer always is a lot of things. There's a lot of things, and through this journey, I've discovered new favorites. And now all my food, I tend to just have a lot more vegetables that I haven't really been eating before. So yeah, it's a really good transition for me to do this lifestyle. So without further ado, I will start making the chili and demonstrating. I'm going to be making it in the Instant Pot. Just because for a busy mom like me, this is like my best friend. It just makes everything so quick and easy. However, it's so easy to also just do this in the stove top if you have the time. So it's fairly the same steps. There were two recipes that I shared. The first one was from Nom Nom Paleo, and that is just more of a basic chili. It's just the ground beef and a ton of spices, and again, no beans. Now, this one that I'm going to demo right now, it's the chili from Well Plated by Erin, and the base is sort of like that Nom Nom Paleo with the ground beef and then all the spices, and then it adds so much more vegetables to it. That's why I like it. So on days like, you know, a few days ago when it was like really cold and my kids would say, "Mommy, can you make chili?" It just makes my heart sing because there's so much stuff in there. They get their 5 to 7 servings of vegetables. So I like it, they love it, and everybody wins. So I've heated up. For those that have Instant Pot, you just put it on saute, so then it makes this hot. So this is really easy and simple because it's the version of just putting everything and leaving it, but not so simple like that. You still need to do some sauteing. So if you look at your if you look at the recipe, it says you need coconut oil, you need your ground beef, but if you don't like ground beef, you can also do ground turkey, or if you want a leaner meat, you can do ground bison. ShopRite has these things. I try to use organic and the kind of meat that they don't do hormones, no added hormones and all that stuff. So ShopRite makes it easier that they have a special, a separate refrigerator for these things. So yeah, that's where I get most of my meats. And then Whole Foods also has, if it says grass-fed, that should be good too, because you always have to think you are what you eat, right? So if the animal that you're eating was fed, I don't know, Skittles, because they actually do that in factory farming, and that's a whole new different discussion, then whatever that animal is eating, then you also eat that because it's in the meat. So I try to get as much clean things, organic produce, and also it goes with the animal protein that I buy as well. All right, so first ingredient is coconut oil. There's two kinds of coconut oils. There are the refined and the unrefined. Unrefined is also called sometimes virgin, and the main difference is if you don't want the taste of coconut oil, because I know a lot of people don't like the taste of it, then get the refined one. That has a milder scent and a milder flavor, and it has a higher smoke point. I guess like up to like 450 degrees, you can use that. The unrefined or virgin coconut oil is as pure as you can get the coconut. It's very minimally processed, and however, it has a very strong coconut flavor. So you'll taste it in the food. So if you don't mind coconut flavor, then use the unrefined. And then if you want still the benefits of coconut, but without the taste of it, then do refined. The funny thing is today, I'm not even going to use coconut oil. What I really always like to use is avocado oil. Again, it also has a high smoke point up to 500 degrees. So this is pretty much what I use all the time, and I buy this big one from Costco. Costco is where you get it for most reasonably priced, and the brand is Chosen Foods. I don't know if they have any other brand. So you put the coconut oil, and then you also put your ground beef in, and then you also put actually, let me put the onions first. So I already prepped a lot of them in the interest of time. So here in the Instant Pot, it says hot. So it means it's okay to put the onion now. there. Turn it around a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the beef. I'm using ground beef today. And just a pound, just one package. I know it's been hard and the refrigerator cases have been bare the last couple of days, especially for chicken. However, there's always ground beef. So it's a good thing to just use that. So we'll let that do its thing. We'll put a little bit of salt and pepper. I like using sea salt, but you know, you can use kosher salt. I like using sea salt because there's some trace minerals that is in here more than what's in just a regular kosher salt. Okay, so just do that and wait. While we wait until this cooks, the next one would be when this cooks and it's all like brown and the onion has already caramelized and all that good flavor, we will be putting all the spices. Now, there's a ton of spices in this one. You will distinctly taste the cumin, and then there's a kick right after. And my kids, surprisingly, are not bothered by it. They like it. Okay, one by one. And then while this is cooking, I'm just gonna like say a few things about benefits of all these spices. So first of all, you're gonna need a tablespoon of dried oregano. Oregano, if you also use essential oil like I do, I put a drop of oregano oil under my feet, especially at this time of the year. It's really so good for your immune system. It's a great antibacterial agent, and it also fights infections, and it's a great source of fiber. It's got vitamin K, vitamin E, and a good source of iron. And there's so much more goodness in oregano, but you know, this spice is really good. The next one, you need 3 tablespoons, not teaspoon, tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Now, what is chili good for? Again, it's an anti-inflammatory. It helps with nasal congestion, especially this time of year. It's also very good with digestion, and it is also an immunity builder. Then what is the next one? You need 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. If you don't have smoked paprika, just regular paprika is also good. I'm just gonna give this a few. Okay. What is good about paprika? It's a nice source of vitamin A. Also, it has antioxidant properties, and it helps reduce the risk of cancer and heart disease. Then your next one is 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Where's my cumin? This one. If you make guacamole, you probably have this in your spice rack because this goes well if you make guacamole. Now, this is also very good in digestion. It's another good source of iron, and it can help with diabetes and blood cholesterol levels. Now, you also need garlic powder. This is a staple in my house. I think I just sprinkle it every time I cook something. Garlic powder. Garlic improves your immunity. It also protects your brain and heart health. And then cinnamon. I put cinnamon in my coffee all the time and in my smoothies. I was pre-diabetic for forever. I had gestational diabetes every time I got pregnant, and my blood sugar levels were always a problem. When I ate paleo, for all of a sudden, my blood sugar levels were just normal and optimal. And I remember my doctor telling me, just put cinnamon in everything that you eat or drink. So I've been doing that. It's also a good antiviral, it's antibacterial and antifungal. And it also is beneficial for the aging brain. I am 45. I turned 45 last year. And sometimes we start to forget things already. So it's nice when you put something in your food that will help with that. All right, the other spice, which I'm not going to put here because it will be too spicy for my kids. But if you like spice, definitely use that. You need a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Again, cayenne pepper, so it's another antioxidant and it's like really, really good for your immunity. Okay, everything is almost brown. Here, see, this is how much like spices is going in this pot. So I pre-measured everything, so it's easy to just dump them. Okay, let me see, do I need to turn off? Okay.
Christina,
Yes?
comment. When I brown my beef, there's always a lot of fat that I drain off, so you don't have to do any draining here? Or you just work with the fat in the...
Yeah, I don't drain mines, but if you don't like, I mean, because it's gonna be in the stew anyway, the leaner cut of meat you have, the less of that fatty juice is gonna come out. So especially if you use the bison, like there's hardly any juice that's gonna come out of it. If you use like a 90%, 95% ground beef, which is super lean, hardly anything's gonna come out. This is 85%. So there is some juice coming out, but I don't mind it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so then you just give it a good stir so everything is incorporated. And I'm gonna press cancel. I'm gonna stop the sauteing. Okay. Here is a tip for those that use Instant Pot. When you start doing pressure cook, one thing that we don't like to see is the word burn. Right now it says, if you can see it, it says off. Because sometimes if there's not a lot of liquid in it, and then it kind of, everything settles down on the bottom, then the pressure cooking will stop and it will say burn. So here's a tip for those using Instant Pot. After you're done sauteing this, just turn the saute off. I know the recipe says to put in all the vegetables. What I would do is do the broth first. So in the directions, the broth was the last thing to put. But what I do is I would use the broth. Then you won't have that burn. You have less chances of having the burn come up. So just get, it says I think 2 to 3 cups, yeah, 2 to 3 cups of chicken broth. If you like making bone broth, like I do, I make bone broth from the Instant Pot too. If you make it on the stovetop, that's also great. Use bone broth. It's better than buying, you know, stock from the grocery. And to make bone broth, it's really just, you know, any bones from like maybe chicken or something, and then add some carrots and celery and just let it boil and simmer for a few hours, and then strain everything. And that's like really, really good for your joints and everything else. So here's 2 cups That's 2 cups of broth. And again, bone broth would be so much better. And then you try to just stir it and get those like little bits of things that formed in the bottom of your Instant Pot. Because we're a family of 5, I'm gonna do 3 cups, okay? I'm gonna add 1 more cup here.
Is this tonight's dinner?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
great.
yes. Okay, here is that. No, let's put this over here. Okay, again, give it a nice stir. Just to incorporate it. Okay, and then again, just to be extra, that it doesn't give you that burn, here's one thing that I'm gonna do again. The recipe says, you know, to put all of these vegetables in a put all the vegetables and then you stir and make sure they're all incorporated, and then put the lid and then do pressure cook. What I'm gonna do, I mix that really well, as you saw, but I'm gonna put the vegetables in the order in the recipe, but I'm not gonna stir it. That's, again, another thing, so you have less chances of getting that burn on your Instant Pot. All right, so first is 1 large sweet potato cut into 1/2-inch chunks. So I already did this last night. When I told you that I stopped eating rice, sweet potato was heaven sent to me. I think it replaced, so I would eat something and then I'm like, I was missing that feeling of fullness that rice was giving me. Any Italians here or other people that love pasta or bread, it's the same thing. If you take away pasta in your life, it's like you don't feel full, right? So sweet potatoes was heaven sent because that gave me that feeling of fullness, but at the same time, it's more nutritious. I get more for the calories that it gives me, right? So sweet potatoes, it has cancer fighting properties. It's a great source of fiber and a lot of vitamins and minerals. So we love sweet potatoes, and it's not like starchy like your regular potatoes. Okay. And there's so many varieties of sweet potatoes. The last time I made chili last week, we put like the purple sweet potatoes. My kids got a kick out of that. There's the Japanese sweet potatoes, but they're more like white on the inside. So many, there's jewel, there's garnet. You know, you can, if you want it sweet, then you can put, you know, the yam, the sweeter kind. If you don't want it sweet, then go more for like the more neutral sweet potato flavor. The next one is a green bell pepper, 1 green bell pepper that's diced. So put that there. See, I love it when I see so many colors in my food. If you follow me on Instagram, when I post my food pictures that I make, I always have the hashtag eat the rainbow, because that's kind of like the thing that I want to do. Whenever I eat something, I want a lot of colors in my food, because each color is a different vitamin, it's a different nutrient. So the more that you can eat from the colors of the rainbow, the better off your body will be. So again, green bell peppers has high antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It's a rich source of vitamin C and B6 and fiber. It also helps maintain a healthy body weight and reduces belly fat. Now, because it's green, it's not ripe yet, you know, it's a little bit, it has a bitter aftertaste compared to the red bell pepper, which is our next ingredient. And also I read that the red bell pepper has the highest vitamin C of all the other peppers. So Here's the red bell pepper. Again, one red bell pepper diced. And the red bell pepper is also a good source of folate for all of us women. Folate it's something that we really, really need. It also supports a healthy vision. I didn't even know that for bell peppers. And again, antioxidants. Most of everything in here of these vegetables are antioxidants. Now, the next one is a small head of cauliflower, stemmed and finely chopped. I couldn't find any cauliflowers in the grocery. Again, because I buy organic, and for some reason at ShopRite, the organic thing has had this mesh over it, and I don't know when they're gonna replenish it. Whole Foods doesn't have it either. However, I always keep a stash of riced cauliflower, and I get this bag from Whole Foods. So it saves me time because this is already chopped very little. And so yeah. So you can use, frozen food too. If ever you go to the produce and they don't have the vegetable that you need in the fresh produce aisle, go to the frozen aisle because they would have them. They would have most of everything. All right, so, and again, me not eating rice, that's why I keep stashes of this rice cauliflower, because this is now my rice, okay? They say you're not a true Filipino. How come you don't eat rice with your sinigang? Sinigang is like a tamarind-based soup that Filipinos love, and it just really goes well with rice. I'm like, I'm good. I have my cauliflower rice, and I actually like it more than regular rice. All right, so I would just eyeball this. How many I gonna put? So cauliflower it supports hormonal balance, it fights respiratory problems, among other things. So we eat cauliflower every day. Okay. Now, the next one is a can of pumpkin puree. And I just got, this is an organic pumpkin puree can. I think I got this from Whole Foods. So I'm just gonna put this in here. So if you have a 6-quart Instant Pot like I do, you're seeing that it's almost to the maximum line. So if you plan to double this recipe, and if you only have a 6-quart like I do, don't do it. Don't double the recipe using an Instant Pot. That's the pumpkin. And then the last one, and this is a favorite brand of mine. So the last one is a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. This is what I always buy. ShopRite has them. They used to be in the gluten-free aisle, the one that's closest to the nutritionist, and it's like on the very bottom. However, they switched things, I don't know, a month ago. It's not there anymore. I don't know where they put it, but my best guess is they probably put this together with all the other canned tomatoes. But I love this brand. It's organic, and I don't know, it's fire roasted. So you see, let's see here, do you see the charring of the skin of the tomato? So anyway, when I make my spaghetti sauce, I use this as well. And they come in like in bigger cans. Whole Foods would have them too, but again, it's always more expensive there. So just get them from ShopRite. All right, so you see this? You see this bowl of goodness of all your antioxidants and all your vitamin A's, K's, C's, all the vitamins, everything. So I'm not gonna mix them like I said. And then you just get the top. I'm just double checking if I have it. Oh, okay. There's one that says sliced jalapeno. Oh, that's for later. Yeah, no. So you put the lid, make sure this is over here. And you only, let's see, how many minutes is this? 10 minutes. So you press pressure cook, and then you do 10 minutes. All right. And then that's it. When it's done, it's done. And then you mix it, and then you season it. Taste and adjust the seasoning. What you can do once it's done, oh wait, because I don't know if this will be finished by the time we're over. However, I saved this from last week. I told them not to eat it, not to finish it. But it will be something like this. This is the chili, and then you still see like the chunks of everything. You can slice your avocado, slice them thin and then put them with it. My son likes avocado, but my two daughters, they don't. But when I put avocado chunks with their chili, that's the only time I can make them eat avocado. I don't know why, but they eat avocado when it's with chili. You can also, like if you like zucchini, like I do, if you have a spiralizer, just spiralize this and then put the chili on top. Eat it that way versus just like a bowl of soup. Then, you have another serving of vegetable in your diet. So that's pretty much it. So how to store leftovers? You can store them up to 5 days in the refrigerator or up to 3 months in your fridge. I've read some say even up to 6 months, but and then also if you want to make this in a slow cooker, what you do is you basically do the same thing. You might have to saute the meat and the onion in a separate pan and then put it in your slow cooker and then add all the other ingredients, and then you can cook it on low for 5 to 6 hours or on high for 3 to 4 hours. Just make sure, until the sweet potatoes are tender and cooked. Now, if you want to cook on the stove, so same exact thing like I did, you just saute the meat, the onions, put the spices as I did it exactly here. And then you add all the remaining ingredients. Then you let it simmer uncovered until the sweet potatoes are soft. And then the chili has thickened about maybe 45 minutes. And that's it. That is paleo chili without the beans. If you guys really like your beans, by all means, you can add it. You can add your beans in here and then it will be a normal chili.